Water uses in California. Securing water access has been tough for growing cities in California. If agricultural and urban users form greater trading support systems, the policymakers can control this important resource. On April 1, 2015, in response to the Sierra Nevada snowpack at the end of winter, Governor Jerry Brown, California, issued an executive order that directed the State Water Board to install emergency water restrictions. The goal was to achieve 25% statewide cutback in urban water usage, with water productivity levels aimed at commercial, industrial, and agricultural users. To achieve this goal, cities had to lower their water intake by more than 40%. The California climate large variations. California is a large state with very different climate patterns. Some parts of the state are very wet. Southern California, however, is actually pretty dry, with LA getting less than 15 inches of rain per year. The precipitation, rain, snow, sleet, or hail that falls to the ground is unevenly distributed over time. Precipitation occurs most during the winter wet season. California also experiences large year-to-year variations in the amount of precipitation it receives. Large climate differences create a tension between the limited and varying water supplies and the need for water in a growing economy and population. Large populated areas such as LA and San Francisco Bay are located away from the wettest parts of the state. California has responded by storing water from the wettest areas and moving water to drier areas. Scale water storage and division. The towns and cities in California grew so quickly in the 19th and 20th centuries that they eventually outgrew local available resources. In order to provide water to thirsty cities and towns, policymakers moved the water from remote areas to local areas. LA was the first city to take water away from outside local basins to provide water for their citizens. It takes water from the Owens River 200 miles away. This led to the dry up of the location, which made people in that area very sad. There are more than 1,400 dams dotted across the state. This includes 100 reservoirs with a capacity larger than 50,000 acre-feet, covering more than 90% of all rivers. No new on-stream dams have been built since 1980 due to environmental concerns. California State Supreme Court applied a public trust doctrine that limits the amount of water that can be taken out of a natural ecosystem. Water cannot be taken from a stream, lake, or other natural source without knowing the harm that can be done to that specific area.
Water conservation. California cities have installed water pricing in order to manage demand equals a higher price lowers the demand. 70% of urban water use in California is residential water use. 25% is commercial or governmental use. 6% is industrial use. Over the past 3 decades, most cities have transitioned into a reverse, where a unit of water gets more expensive the more one buys. A high price causes people to use less. Since 1991, toward the tail end of 1987 through 1992 drought, large and medium-sized California cities have been required to produce a water shortage contingency plan. This details the emergency measures they plan to undertake. Outdoor landscaping irrigation accounts for about half of overall residential use. A popular request is to limit the number of days that outdoor irrigation is permitted per week. Southern California has grown over the past 3 decades. Its total water use has fallen over that period. The state has set a goal to cut water use to 20% below the 2009 average by 2020. Conservation will eventually reach a limit because water use cannot be cut to zero. Therefore, policymakers need to go back to the basics and explore a better working water program across the state for a more sustainable future. Alternative water sources. Water recycling and reuse is one potential source. Recycled water is wastewater treated at a much higher quality than normal wastewater. This water is then put back into specially marked pipes for reuse for specific purposes. A second source would be desalination, a process that takes away mineral components from saline water, producing fresh water from salt water. This can produce a reliable and unlimited water supply. Sadly, this process costs more than other types of water supplies. A third water source can be the capturing of stormwater. Instead of letting rainwater run off into storm drains, it can be captured and put to use. Related water source is gray water use. Reusing clean water from baths, sinks, washing machines, and other kitchen appliances. Future water challenges. California will face additional water challenges in the future. According to population projections made by the California Department of Finance in 2013, California will reach a population of 44.1 million by 2030. This will increase in water demand. Addressing future water challenges. On April 7, 2017, Governor Jerry Brown declared an end to the drought.
However, historical records show that another drought will happen in the future due to climate change.
This means that California must learn to manage its water supply more wisely by reforming water rights systems, finding new ways to conserve and recycle water in order to meet the water challenges of the future.
In hopes of creating a sustainable future.
The End.
Directed by Edith Rojas.
Illustrated by Gisela Aparicio.
Animations by Edith and Gisela.
Sources. Thank you for watching.